Hey, Mudcat fans, welcome back to the Dirty Fish Podcast.
Dirty Fish. Loving this podcast and having a lot of fun with my good friend, Jeff Matlock.
Absolutely, man. It has been great, having a really good time. We're getting a lot of good feedback from the fans,
Yes,
too.
we are.
Which is awesome.
Yes.
So we got another one for you today, episode number 4. If you don't know this name, you should. Bronson Balholm.
Bronny. Love that guy.
Otherwise known as Bronny, yes. Awesome guy. Former Mudcat, played 2 seasons for us back in 2021. Skipped 2020, he was in 2023. He was an all-star pick for the California Collegiate League showcase game. And he has moved on to the Party Animals with Banana Ball. And he is fitting right in. I've seen a couple games with him in Sacramento. Got me some tickets to actually see them in Savannah, Georgia, which was great. Man. So stay tuned for that, and we'll be right back with Bronny.
All right.
All right, Mudcat fans, welcome in Bronson Balholm.
Bronny.
Yes,
sir. What's going on? Skate, you look amazing, brother. Matlock, you look wonderful.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Looking good yourself. I don't usually see you without a hat.
Yeah, that's a lot of hair, bro.
I know. I'm blessed to have it. I think that's,
I love it.
You are blessed, and both of us are jealous.
Yes, definitely.
We're gonna keep hiding underneath the catcher's mask, so for as long as I can remember.
Absolutely, man. So, well, let's get into the podcast today. We want to talk about your whole baseball career, from where it started to where you're at today. So, let's take a few moments and go way back. Obviously, I can look up all your high school and beyond, but let's go before that. Where or when did you start playing baseball?
Yeah, man, it was such a young love. I remember I have pictures I've seen of me swinging a bat, man, just at like 3, 4 years old, like that big old wiffle bat. I had an older brother and older sister. I watched them play sports when I was growing up, and my older brother was playing baseball just about when I was getting to that 3, 4 age, and I think that's kind of when it started getting installed in me, and seeing those baseballs get hit hard. And my mom was a catcher, and my grandpa was a catcher. And so they were all about baseball. My mom being from Los Angeles, where her dad was from, they were bleeding Dodger blue, and
oh man,
it was installed.
Julie's gonna love that. My wife
is
gonna love that.
Yeah. She a Dodger fan?
Oh yeah. Dodger blue.
Dodger blue, baby. It doesn't look good as Solano blue that you got wearing right now, but it's something about that. She taught me at a very young age, you bleed blue. And I remember going to games with my grandpa and going with my mom, and my grandpa used to have like season tickets when he was a little bit younger, and took my mom to like every single game, and she would do always the scorebook and keep up with everything. Goodness. But she always watched the catcher, she told me. And so it was just at a young age. She was like, always when we were watching TV, we'd be watching baseball, she'd be like, watch the catcher. He's the general. He's the one that runs everything. So it was really young, and and getting into Little League, some of the best times of my life playing ball. That's the moment where you really start to either fall in love with it or just know it's not for you. But if I had good hand-eye coordination. I put bat to ball, and man, I'm just getting into golf now, and now I'm realizing, it's pretty much the same thing. Putting bat to ball, it's just that feeling is inescapable, and it keeps you coming back, right? So
Ski and the guys won't let me play golf with them because I'm terrible.
Yeah, he almost killed somebody on the driving range.
Oh,
You weren't supposed to say that.
He hit it across the whole everybody, and it whizzed right by the last guy, and he got a hard look. But anyways, we're still all right.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
You were just planning the shot. You were thinking about it cutting back or something like that. It wasn't.
Yeah, I was playing.
Just wasn't how we drew it up. Yeah, exactly what I say too. But man, it's just it's even if it's at a driving range, a batting cage, man, it's just you love that feeling of just hitting the ball, hitting it far, and it just kept me coming back. I remember Little League, falling in love. Obviously everybody kinds of falls in love because of big moments, and I remember starting to hit home runs in Little League, and that's when it really draws you in. Big moments too, where the team's on your back, and you got to get a base hit here or do a job, and it just kind of starts building up that love. And man, that's really where it started. I mean, at that young age, I just couldn't get over it.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
It is.
Yeah.
So then you move on, you get into high school, you're at Notre Dame Prep there down in the LA area. Besides baseball there, any other sports in high school?
No. I mean, I almost did try football, but Notre Dame was a very for Southern California, there's a lot of great ball out there in Northern California too. And so they kind of made you pick one or the other unless you were really good at both. And so, I grew up playing all types of sports. My dad played football professionally for a couple of years, and so he was a wide receiver, and I got a lot of my speed because of my dad. He was kind of starting to get me doing his running workouts like that he used to do when he was playing football back in the day. And
nice.
That was kind of my little extracurricular outside of baseball. I wanted to play football like my dad, but they didn't want me to. They were like, stick with baseball. They didn't want me getting hurt or anything like that. I wasn't that much bigger than other kids in the beginning of high school. Like, I hit my growth spurt junior year, and man, I was pretty short and a little chubby, about like 4'11", like going into freshman year. And so I started to really grow and get a little bit of size and a little bit of strength that junior year. But it was one of the greatest things because I was surrounded by so much talent at Notre Dame. Hunter Green, obviously, who's pitching for the Reds now, second overall pick, and I think 2017 draft class. A bunch of other D1 guys that were committed as a freshman, to like UCLA or TCU or something. And so it was really good ball. And, this is kind of my whole career that I didn't know at the time, but I learned was that the playing level is where I'm going to be at. If the people I'm around are better than me, I rise to the playing level to be with them. If it was, if it was, maybe it's like somewhere like I wasn't really surrounded by guys that are better than me, I kind of sunk to their playing level. So it made me a lot better ball player for sure, being around some really talented dudes. And I mean, catching Hunter was amazing. Getting MLB scouts at our games and everything at such a young age, it was crazy and foreign to me. And Hunter throwing 102 mile per hour fastballs, and I remember one time I was using this old shoeless Joe glove, one of those catcher gloves that are just really floppy, but it just feels great, and it's it had like a tear on the thumb part, cotton's coming out of it, something that Mickey Mantle might have used, and just I remember him throwing a pitch and went right through my web and smoked me right in the shoulder. It was crazy. And then I learned about toughness. High school was a big thing for toughness. As a catcher, you guys know it. Nothing's better to see a catcher body up a ball behind the dish, right?
Yeah.
And I had to learn that. I was 14, and I think until I was about 15 or 16 is when I really started getting in front of it and trusting my chest protector and trusting my reactions. And it's all that growing that you do in high school that again, it's really going to test you if you love it or not, because it's tough. High school is full of so many different problems. Like it's just starting to get a little bit in your head. You're playing for competition. You want to go to college. It's starting to build up that pressure, right?
Oh,
and that's kind of the part where, it's really going to test you. How much do you love this game? How hard are you willing to push yourself? What are you going to do that others aren't going to do? Are you going to do things that nobody's going to see? It's you guys can talk on it too. It's when you start loving the game, it's going to start taking you further than anything else. Any other mom or
Oh yeah.
dad saying, go outside and hit some balls off the tee. It's like, how bad do you want it internally? And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure you guys have seen so many good players come by, but I'm sure the best players you saw were the ones that deeply wanted it. They had a love for it like
They
no
worked the
other.
hardest. They worked the hardest.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because we talked about this. I don't know if you watched the episode 3 with Preston Freeman. He's at
Yeah.
Nebraska now, and it becomes a job or a business especially at a major D1 level. But if you love it, it's not really that bad of a job, right?
Yeah.
Like you have
True.
fun with it, even though you still have to work hard. So,
Mhm.
but definitely. So
So
after
am I.
Notre Dame, you end up out at a D3 in Wisconsin, and it's Beloit, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Beloit
Beloit,
College.
baby. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes,
So you
sir.
go out there you're out there for a few years, I believe, for 4 years, I think.
Yes.
You get your degree in physics there,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome. I mean, how many guys that are baseball players are doing physics classes at the same time?
Yeah. Yeah. Only the one's crazy enough, right?
Yeah, right? Yeah, and I think we know you well enough. You fit right in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was right up
And
my alley.
and we'll talk more about physics later. We'll get into a few things that you've come up with, stuff that you're doing out there with kids
Yeah.
now, and talking about that. But you go to Beloit, and then you end up transferring, I think, for your like a second major or master's program.
It was a second major.
Second major, you end up at
Mhm.
Arizona State. Tell us a little bit about how you got there and what being a Sun Devil was like.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was always my dream to be a Sun Devil. My mom was a Sun Devil. My brother was a Sun Devil. I bat boyed for the Sun Devils when I was
Oh,
about
Right.
man.
8 years old. When I had
Nice.
Andrew Romine, Eric Sogard, and Pat Murphy was coaching back then, and
Wow.
I always wanted to be a Sun Devil. But at the time, coming out of high school, I didn't get picked up by them. They looked at me, but they didn't see anything special in me. And at the time, and I remember I was heartbroken, but I still wanted to play baseball. And so
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to study physics because I had a great physics teacher in high school that taught physics based on comic books and how the physics of comic book superheroes were actually correct when they were writing everything. And me being the nerd that I am, I love Star Wars and comic books. It made me love it even more. And I was good at math and science. And so,
Cool.
That's a good
talking,
teacher to get you engaged like that.
Oh
That's
yeah.
awesome.
oh
That's
yeah, and
quite a technique, man.
Yeah.
it's not easy to get kids to realize what they like and to pay
Oh, yeah.
attention in school. And so if you can teach it to them some way that they enjoy learning about it, it opens up the whole different world to you and kind of makes you see
Oh,
it in a different
absolutely.
aspect. And
Yeah.
so I ended up looking into Beloit College. They contacted me, and I really liked what head coach David George had to say, and he was a really positive thinking guy and really energetic. And so he convinced me to come out and take a trip out to Wisconsin, about an hour outside of Milwaukee, a little bit out of Madison, middle of nowhere, liberal arts college, Beloit, Wisconsin, Beloit College. And I was actually kind of talking with the science professors, and they were telling me about this program called a 3-2 program, which was you do 3 years at Beloit and you get your first degree in physics, and then you're going to do 2 years at Brotherhood School, which was either Purdue, WashU, but the one that spoke out to me the most was Columbia. I always wanted to go to an Ivy League, and
Oh, okay.
I knew that would set me up. So that was my plan going into Beloit, was to play 3 years there and then go use my final year at Columbia. But
Nice.
that's not how everything always lines up, right? Because
No.
the world ended up going into a little bit of turn my junior year, and COVID hit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my junior year was really like when I first got the blessing about Beloit College was when I met so many amazing people and so many lifelong friends like you do in any team. But I also realized the same kind of concept I talked about before. The level of talent wasn't as good as my high school, because my high school was so good and the league was so good.
Right.
And so I kind of same thing, like the first 2 years kind of rose down a little bit, didn't push myself. But that third year I set a standard, and I made sure I was working the hardest I ever had been in my career, like I was in high school, and taking it seriously because I was thinking about Columbia. And so
Yeah.
third year comes around. We play 8 games to start off our season, and I'm on fire. Our team's on fire. I'm hitting like above 400, got my first couple home runs, the strength's starting to come in, and boom, COVID hits,
Oh man.
Everything
and
stops.
everything stops. We
Yeah.
all go home. We all do online classes. I ended
Oh,
up
man.
working out at a Sprouts Farmers Market as a butcher during my time I wasn't in school, and going to the this one cage that I had, and just over and over and over every single day. It was
Yeah.
a blessing in disguise though, because I got that year back. And as I was planning on going to Columbia decided to not accept transfer admissions that year
Oh, wow.
due to COVID. So I ended up going back to Beloit, and that fourth year I had at Beloit was actually also not counted towards my eligibility. So I basically did one and a quarter of a seasons,
Yeah.
and it was a shortened season, because it was D3, but
Right.
got those 2 years back. And so I graduated from Beloit, got that physics degree, had an absolute blast, and then I was accepted into University of Southern California, USC. I gotta say it like that now, because anytime I say USC out here, people are like, "Oh, South Carolina, right?" And I'm like, "No, I'm used to saying
Yeah,
the
driving
one out in
around out there, I see
California."
USC, and I'm like, "What is this?
Yeah.
Is it a satellite campus?" They're like, "No, it's University of South
Yeah.
Carolina." I'm like,
How did this Trojan
"Oh."
get all the way out here? You know? So,
Yeah.
got accepted to do a master's in aerospace engineering at USC, and got to talking with the coach over there, and was getting all lined up to actually go over there and to play on the USC team, when ASU actually hit me up. And ASU was on semester, so they started before USC, which was trimester. And they were like, "Hey, we would love to get an extra veteran catcher to come to Arizona State. Would that be possible for you?" And I was leaping at the decision. I was like, "Heck yes!" Always wanted to be a Sun Devil, and by golly, we got there. And so
Yeah.
it just
That's great.
and it's it just goes to show, like, in the time you might not think that things are happening for the good, with it being COVID. I remember being
Right.
so disappointed I wasn't going to Columbia. I was talking with the coach there to play ball there, and it just, it all worked out because I got to go to my dream school in the end.
Yeah.
And man, did I have fun there. It was just an amazing time just to live out in Tempe and playing at a Pac-12, which
Yeah.
it was Power 5. And man, same thing happened though. The trend continues. I was surrounded by guys who were more talented than me, but I rose up to the occasion and proved myself that I belonged there. And
Beautiful.
it
Love that.
just it's thank you. It's such a feeling when you know that you can do
Yeah.
it there, and it's
You had a good career there.
amazing. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to do it if it weren't for the old Mudcats that summer that I came from Beloit and was going to ASU. And so
Yeah.
it was all thanks to Solano, baby. Got me back
Woo!
out there.
I love that.
Yeah.
Dirty fish.
Dirty fish,
Definitely.
baby. Dirty fish.
This episode of the Dirty Fish Podcast is brought to you by Cool Jack Bats, the official bat sponsor of the Solano Mudcats. If you want to get a high quality, custom handcrafted wood bat, contact Tom Andres at Cool Jack Bats.
But I absolutely loved my time at Arizona State. I was so fortunate to have Willie Bloomquist as my coach. Long time MLB player, and just a guy that knew how to play the game right. You know what I mean? And you want to talk about being a dirty fish, a scrappy ball player. It's Willie Bloomquist.
Nice.
He's not
Awesome, man.
not like super tall, but man, he'll fight your teeth and nails. And
I love that, man.
he's got that attitude like you guys do. Um,
I
He's
love it.
it was amazing to learn from him and kind of keep the old school ball going. You know what I mean? And I feel like
Yeah.
that's what we also have talked about too. It's there's nothing about going out of style about getting the ball on the ground and hustling hard and giving everything you got because that's how a lot of these guys um, play the game and they don't take it for granted. And that's
Playing
definitely
it
what
the
Willie
right
taught
way,
us.
brother.
Yes,
Playing it the
sir.
right way.
Yes, sir.
talent takes you far, but a lot of times people talk about nowadays is grit. And
Mhm.
sometimes grit will take you even farther than your talent, or it can, hard. They say hard work beats talent, right? So, a lot of
Right.
times with that hard work comes a lot of success.
Grit and grime, man. Hey,
That's right.
how about let's talk about your summer league resumes. I know you were in quite a few leagues, and
Mhm.
can you talk about your summer leagues?
Yeah, heck yeah. Well, my favorite, don't tell the other ones, but it was in the CCL in Solano. But yeah, my first summer was Alaska,
Yeah,
and man, that was up there for one of my favorite summers. But not because of the baseball. That summer, I learned, it was your first year in college, right? And I had my freshman 20. I'm eating whatever I want, thinking I'm totally okay, doing whatever I want, and go to Alaska and man, I was surrounded by guys that were older than me and guys that were just, enjoying the life out there. And this is one thing that coming from a D3, who's going to take a chance on, just some kid coming out there. But I emailed like every single team in Alaska because I wanted to go up there. My
yeah,
mom always
Nice.
taught me it was like, Cape Cod, CCL, Alaska, West Coast League. And then like Florida League, those were like the top college summer ball leagues.
Yeah.
And so emailed every single team out there, and I got a response back from the Peninsula Oilers out in the Kenai Peninsula, which is like if you look at Alaska, it's like way down, kind of on
It's yeah.
the far side. And man, I had a great summer there, but not on the
cool.
baseball side. I was getting overpowered by D1 arms, and
Uh,
I was nervous. It was like my first time. Like I was thinking like this is like a little bit too fast for me, and so I held my own catching, but hitting wise, I definitely needed to learn because, D3, the fastest guys that we had thrown was 80, 86, 87.
yeah,
We had some guys from Mississippi State, GCU that we were playing against. And, Brian Wu was on that team too with me. And he's a, pitcher for the Mariners now. And, it's like, the talent definitely rose up there, but I didn't do everything I should have looking back on it to, make the most of it. I definitely should have learned a little bit more, but, you know, hindsight 2020. But
Yeah.
dang, did I have fun because Alaska was freaking beautiful, man. You guys ever been up there
I've
before?
never been, but I would love to go someday.
I've only been up there on a cruise, and the stuff I did see, it was beautiful up there. I would go again. It
Yeah.
was really cool.
Oh, I go in and during the summertime too, because that
Yeah.
it's light out all day. We played a game at midnight,
Oh
which is
my
like
goodness.
where do you ever do that other than like,
Yeah.
maybe banana ball will down the line. But
Yeah.
um
Exactly.
I'd learned to fish up there, fell in love with fishing. I caught so much salmon and sent it home to my family and
Wow.
some of the best salmon I've ever had in my life. I don't think I've ever had like a better
Wow.
stuff because it was so fresh. And I remember just sitting. One of my buddy, one of my teammates' host families had just a little dock right on the Kenai River, and man, we just sit there, just whoop whoop
Wow.
whoop. Man, they were jumping into our pockets. Ski, it was
Oh
crazy.
my goodness.
Nice.
And um, so I had so much fun. We did hikes and just it was beautiful nature, and it really was. It was a long, grueling time though, because it was 5 games a week and
Oh, wow.
sometimes 6, and you
Wow.
do road trips to Anchorage and stay out there. So it was like we didn't do that kind of road trip stuff uh in D3. So it was like, first time getting out into the world and, young Bronny didn't handle it as best as he could have. But,
Bronny was out
for
having
dang
fun.
sure, for dang sure he was having fun, man.
Yeah.
He
I
was
love
having
that,
fun.
man. I
So
love that.
that was a great one. And then played like a little local summer, I think, my second year. And then out in California, and then third year was COVID, And then after my 4th year at Beloit was the Mudcats. And man, that was so awesome, man. I actually, you remember Jordan Petrushka,
Oh
correct?
my God,
Oh,
I
You
yeah.
love
know,
that guy.
Jordan the
Love Jordan,
Giant.
man.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh man, so we
such a
were
great guy, man.
we were in host family, but funny enough, he's actually out here in Savannah. I just saw him
Oh
literally a couple
Oh,
really?
days
Oh
ago.
man.
no kidding.
Yeah, yeah, no joke. And
Oh, no.
man, it's like we never left. We were roommates, you know, at the same host family,
Yep.
Yeah.
with the cars,
Oh
and
my
Yes.
gosh, Trisha
was
and Rick, man.
yeah, man,
Oh
Trish
my
and Rick were
goodness.
so cool, and
Yeah.
it was so awesome to come out to Vacaville. Like I didn't know what to expect. I remember the first day I got out there. It was about halfway through the summer, or maybe a little bit before. I know it was before July 4th because my first series was up in Humboldt,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
before we went up there, I remember getting to the house, and you know, there was like horses around, and it was out in the countryside, and again, it brought me back to nature. And I think, you know, I love nature and just
Yeah.
being outside and seeing animals. I love animals. There were cats, dogs. I remember the cars had a little kitten that was just getting raised, and his name was Tiger, and cutest little thing ever. He used to sleep on my chest at night, and man, it was so much fun. And then, man, Humboldt was one of the craziest experiences I've ever played ball at, dude.
Every year.
Ski, you know, Matlock. I
Whoa.
mean,
I
those
know.
games are something
Yeah.
special, man. And
Yes.
that's when I learned about a little bit of history between, you know, the Mudcats and the Crabs,
Yeah.
uh, and just, you know, the little back and forth. But by golly, was that so much fun? I mean, I just met Jordan, and just drove up there, and dude, it was so crazy cool. Like I just met all these guys, and we're just playing a ball game already, and um man, the crowd was so into it. The
Oh, yeah.
energy was off the charts.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
they were all there. And then July 4th, I remember we got a win. And then funny enough, one of my teammates from ASU, a pitcher, he was going to University of San Francisco at the time. He was on that Crabs team, as
Oh.
as well
That's
as another Oregon baseball player. And I remember like I made this crazy play in the outfield that I like robbed a dude from like a double, and um, yeah, it's so much fun. Got a couple base hits, but I remember us winning the second game. It was such a blast, and looking back, I was like, dude, what a great 4th of July. We went to the beach after, like all these guys I just met, and
Yeah.
we were all just enjoying it
Yeah.
and just soaking up some sun, getting our feet in the sand after the game, and it was so awesome. So thank you guys, first of all, for
Oh
taking a
man.
chance and
Oh,
bringing me up
yeah.
there.
Absolutely.
It
Yeah.
was
We always had to laugh about that because I think you and Jordan had never really been out in the country, right? And all of a sudden you're out at the Cars house that's in the country, a
yeah.
little
Oh
bit
yeah.
outside of town, and like you guys are in a different world.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, but it was so awesome though. I'll tell you what,
Yeah, they're
Matlock,
great.
like
They're awesome. They've
Yeah, they're the
they were
best.
hosted since then as well. I
yeah.
think they're gonna host
I think they're coming back this year.
this year.
They
Yeah,
did some traveling.
they did some traveling last year, so they weren't able to host. But I think they're talking about hosting again
Yeah.
Yeah.
this year. So
Well, good,
uh,
because they're so amazing, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, they're great people.
whoever gets them as their host family is a lucky
Oh
one.
Yes.
yeah. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about it.
And then Riley, you remember Riley Lamb? He
Oh
lived
yeah.
like
Riley.
right around the corner in another host family's house. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
it was me, it was Jordan, Riley, and you remember Sam Daly too,
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
and myself, and like that was our squad, man. We
yeah.
would hang out.
That's a good group right there,
That's
man.
a really good
yeah.
group. Yeah.
It was
That's a lot of offense.
so cool. Yeah, a whole lot of offense coming out between
Yeah.
those guys. And
Yes.
Riley was just such a character, man.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
love the kid, and
Yeah, he was great.
talking with Jordan, like it was literally just us talking about all these stories of just our times together, and just being little hooligans, and just enjoying the time out in the countryside, man. It was so cool. But it was just like it's the summer ball feeling. There's
Yeah.
nothing like it,
Yeah.
that you become almost best friends just for in a matter of 2-3 months of just traveling together, playing ball together, living together.
Right.
it's such a brotherhood, and I always say it, baseball's a family, and it was such a blessing to have those guys around because it made it so much more fun, and that made the whole summer that much more fun.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
always good to, I was telling my wife when my kid played baseball and got up where, he's going to be on a travel team that goes around. It's kind of pricey, but it's not about the baseball. It's about, because I played for the same team years ago. It's about the friendships that you make. And I still talk to those guys, just like you running into Jordan. It's almost like you didn't skip a beat. It was like yesterday, you guys just start talking again.
Yeah.
So it's awesome to make those lifelong friendships because of baseball. So really good to hear that you saw him and he's doing well. I like Jordan was great. Jordan actually played for the Crabs the next year.
And hit
That's
a bomb.
right.
Yeah, and
Hit a bomb off
one of
after
our
Timmy was yelling at him.
Yeah, he put one on the freeway against us.
Yeah.
He struck out once,
Yeah.
but then he put one on the freeway.
Yeah. That shut Timmy down.
Traitor. You know,
So then you
he had
played
that light tower power, I mean,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jordan the Giant, baby.
So you played for us in 2021, and then you 22. You were with the Broxton Rocks out in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
In
That
the
was
Future League.
That was a fun one too. And
I bet,
little
yeah.
side note about them. One, we all lived at this place called Stonehill College, and the whole team, if you didn't be a local guy, you lived in
Right.
basically like a dorm.
Oh,
And it felt like I was back in college for 3 months, man. Cooking in the basement. It was like I was in my own fraternity. But funny enough,
Nice.
the owner there started to do, we did actually a couple of banana ball games. So crazy
Oh,
enough, it
really?
was like my intro to banana ball, just getting
wow.
going there.
Wow.
Yeah. So I didn't know
That's
I needed
hilarious.
it down the line, but I was practicing.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then you come back to the Cats in 2023.
Yeah,
And,
baby. You know it.
And man, when we heard you were coming back, man, it was
Yeah.
like celebrate, good times, let's go.
Oh, man. I was so happy to be a Dirty Fish again, dude. It was just amazing. I mean, I had such a great summer already. Why not run it back again? And
Yeah.
I was so thankful to go out there, and just because I was only a catcher at issue, I practiced outfield and did a little bit of infield too. And then at my D3, I played all different types of positions. But I was just so happy I got to play different positions with the Mudcats, and it allowed me to keep playing. When my last
Yeah.
year of eligibility
Yeah.
finished up, I knew that there was a rule that you guys could have one grad person per team, or
Yeah.
some number, and
Yeah, one or
I
two. I
was
think we could have two at the
No,
time.
it
in the
was
season.
one. It was one.
Was it one?
Yeah.
One grad for
Yeah.
CCL.
Bonus baby. Bonus baby.
yeah, baby. But I mean, I was just, and that summer was so different than every other summer. It was fun. It was fun again. I wasn't worried about the result because I didn't think, anything was really going to happen from it. I thought if I was going to get a free agent deal, it was going to come from whatever I did in college, which was already more than enough. And
Right.
I was just enjoying the time out there. And again, I met some great guys again that I still chat to this day. And it was just such a great time. And it was one of those times where I felt like a kid again. I wasn't really worried too much about the result, but I think that's kind of why I had that much more fun. It was just I just get to play the game. I get to play the game that I've been playing my whole life. Man, when we started this podcast, I fell in love when I had a bat in my hand at 4, and it's just that's when you really start. It's the craziest part. You start feeling
Yeah.
like it's more of a blessing. You start playing well after that. So
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
it was a great time. Great time.
You play in the showcase game down in Southern California. What position did you play there in that game?
Yeah. I played first base.
Oh
funny
my
enough.
goodness. I
Yeah.
love that,
I
man.
think you
I made
got picked for the showcase game as an outfielder, correct?
Yeah.
That's right. Because I think, wasn't it Nate Schwartz went down as a catcher
Yeah.
from our team? Yeah, and
Yeah.
then you were there as an outfielder, but ended up at first base.
Yep. Baby, that's all 9 Bronny, baby. That's what they call me. All 9 Bronny. That was so much fun, and yeah, shout out to Schwartzy, dude, man, what a
Yeah.
beast of a catcher, and
Yeah.
Oh
lucky
yeah,
enough, I got to room with him, and we had the same host family, and great
yeah.
guy, man, dude, just
Yeah.
awesome dude, smart dude too. We used to have
Yeah.
some real nerdy out talks, I remember, but man, he made that summer so much fun. I love you,
He had
Schwartzy,
I
dude.
think he had a great showcase game too. I think he was either had a hit or two.
Yeah, I think he drove a
He
double in the grab or something. He threw out
yeah,
a
and
guy, I thought.
he threw a backside runner out. I think they had runners first and second, and they did a double steal, and he threw the guy out. I think for
Yeah.
the third out going to second.
Who was the
Um,
coach in that? Was it P. Adams that year?
it might have been, yeah. Was Adams the coach that year?
I think he was. Which
Yeah.
team did he coach?
Trying to think, was it Adams or was it it wasn't Kyle, I don't think at that time.
I don't know. Because I went down that year. I think I went down that year. Can coach first.
Yeah.
No, it was
Kyle?
yeah, Kyle. Yeah, it was
Kyle
Kyle.
Stafford.
Okay. Then
Yeah,
it was
it might
have been
his first year, yeah.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And that was cool too, because you guys didn't I think it was USA Baseball was there doing metrics
Yeah.
and things like that for you guys getting in, like scouts were there, college coaches were there.
Oh yeah. No, it was real official.
Yeah, it was a
really
pretty
cool
big deal,
day.
yeah.
It was a really, really fun day, and I remember
Yeah.
just being a part of it was super special. Got to see all these other guys that, funny enough, I remember a pitcher from the Crawdads. He ended up going to ASU, and so I still keep in
Oh
touch
yeah.
with him. And
Nice.
just a bunch of when you're playing against a bunch of guys for the whole summer, you start to like just get respect for one another for what they're
Yeah.
doing. Unless it
Yeah.
gets a little bit too chirpy sometimes, but. For the most part, it was cool to play beside guys that were just the best of the league, and dang, I was so happy for Schwartz. I remember on the ride home, I was like, dude, let's go, man! Like, we had a great game, man.
Yeah.
And that was such an awesome part. I remember I had a couple buddies that were on Santa Barbara's team, and we played against them.
Oh
And
yeah.
it was just it's like baseball, small world. You start meeting a
Yeah.
bunch of new people, and just a really, really fun time. I was really thankful I got picked, and wouldn't trade for the world. I still got my little plaque up in my room.
Yeah. And then you ended up getting our team award of MVP that year.
Yeah.
Bronson Balholm, MVP of the Mudcats.
Love it, man.
Dude,
well
that was-
deserved. Well deserved.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. I remember like just having my walk-up song and the boombox blaring at Vanden, baby, and it was
Nice.
such a blast, dude. Man, as hard as I tried, dude, that ball does not fly there to right field, man.
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
I
No,
tried to
it does
pull
not.
so many BP balls,
Yeah,
trying to get
yeah.
that thing up there, man, and
Dude, that
it humbles you. You gotta stay in the gaps, baby. Stay in the gaps.
that field is not left-handed hitter friendly at all.
No.
No.
Our new field is
No.
left-handed hitter
Yeah,
friendly.
if you were at Solano, man, you would have hit
Solano
a few more
College.
out probably. The wind going out.
Yeah,
So you
baby.
get that season. I remember at the end of the season, you ended up missing. I want to say the last week, maybe the last week and a half, but for a good reason. You came to the coaching staff and said, "Hey, listen, I got a call to try out for the Savannah Bananas."